So welcome to episode 13 of our Aston Martin save, and we start with some facility upgrades on this episode. And the first thing we're going to be upgrading is the wind tunnel. $12 million, quite an expensive upgrade, but one that we feel we need to make sure that the upgrades are as important and as effective as they can be going forwards. So facilities is first up on the mind this weekend, and then we can have a look at the race preparation. Now, it's a Hungaroring this weekend. Now, our car is good at low speed cornering and medium speed cornering. That's probably what it's best at. It's not amazing, but that's what it's best at. So maybe we can compete a little bit in Hungary. I'm excited for this Grand Prix. As we can see, first Grand Prix in 1986, 70 laps. Notoriously a difficult circuit to overtake on. Just as Fernando Alonso, who were fantastic at defending. I believe it was from Lewis Hamilton last season. And if we have a look at the car attributes, as we've just said, acceleration key, but low speed cornering, we're pretty decent at. Expected strategies is a medium onto hard, just the one stop. I'm going to get stuck into practice, see what we can do, and we'll see ya in qualifying.
The Hungaroring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungaroring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout, and for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
So here we go then, final flying laps in Q1, and as you can see on the left hand side, our guys are currently 17th and 18th. We used to be 17th and 18th at this moment in time. We actually tried something a little different. We had two flying runs on the first exit out of the pit lane, hoping that I'd give us a little bit of something. I'm not too sure what, but 17th and 18th is where we finished. I would expect us to do quite well in relation to the rest of the season. In perspective, quite well is 15th, but we had some good pace on the car compound tyre in practice. That's something that should give us some comfort. But Sebastian Vettel here is green through the first sector, so he's got what, 3 attempts to pick up to get to P15. Yuki Tsunoda looks like he's got a penalty as well, so that's something to be aware of. Both for our guys improving though, so take the positives out of the situation. We are expecting a bit of rain in 3 minutes, but I don't expect we're going to be around for Q2. But we live in hope as Sebastian Vettel making his way around this go-kart track. He is yellow in the middle sector, which is a disappointing thing. Lance Stroll, can he improve? He's currently going through the second sector. Sebastian Vettel now into the final couple of turns as he takes this long right-hander onto the start-finish straight. Sebastian Vettel, can he improve and get himself into Q2? He's had a couple of Q2 appearances so far this season. Doesn't improve. Lance Stroll again slower through the middle sector, so neither are our guys managing to improve in the middle sector. P17, Tsunoda is in the drop zone at the moment. It's Danny Ricciardo who's going to be in front of us, and Lance Stroll also doesn't improve. Is Alexander Albon still on a lap, and can he split the two Aston Martins? Alexander Albon comes down the final corner, looks like you're having a little bit of a battle with the Alfa Romeos, doesn't manage to out-qualify us. It's P17 and P18, as we're very much used to, and as we can see the confirmation there. Let's get stuck into Sunday. So we are going to split the strategies with the two guys. Sebastian Vettel is going to start on the medium compound tyre, and then I think he's going to be very strong on the hard compound tyre towards the end of the Grand Prix. Lance Stroll obviously starting a bit behind Sebastian. He's going to be on the hard compound tyre to start, take it a little bit easier, and then we'll assess the situation. But the plan is to go on to mediums, possibly softs, but I guess it would be mediums. So let's get to 5 red lights and see how we get on at this very difficult circuit to overtake.
And there's Sebastian Vettel. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Will their hard work pay off today? And here we go, with the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and we're going to ride on board with Sebastian Vettel, who is running P12. Obviously, engine penalties for a few of the front runners. They're going to be making the way through the pack. We didn't expect that. Charles Leclerc's already overtook about 3 cars off the start. But Lance Stroll there now can look to hold up the guys behind. And Sebastian Vettel is the man we're looking at to really make some moves, starting in P12. We don't normally start this high up. Thank God for grid penalties. Obviously, we've got a few of them to take this season as well.
Nicely done.
And Sebastian Vettel, oh, what's he backed out for there? He looked like he got Danny Ricciardo, but chose to back out. Meanwhile, behind that, Lance Stroll is in a real battle with the Williams of Alexander Albon. And he loses out to Alexander Albon, who's also fighting with Charles Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel has got a Ferrari for company in a second, which I'm sure he's going to be absolutely thrilled with at this moment in time. But meanwhile, at the front, Carlos Sainz is leading from Sergio Perez. Then comes Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Kevin Magnussen, Lando Norris, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou, Esteban Ocon, and then Yuki Tsunoda. My word, that Ferrari is a little bit quick, but Sebastian Vettel is doing his utmost to defend him. And so far, the ex-Ferrari driver, Sebastian Vettel, is doing okay. And Lance Stroll hanging on to the back. What it might be worth Sebastian Vettel doing here, actually, is letting this guy go, because we're not in a fight with Ferrari. We're in a fight with Daniel Ricciardo. We need to be making sure that we stick in this DRS chain with Daniel Ricciardo. We don't want to be losing DRS. And hopefully this little bit of fighting between Leclerc and Ricciardo is going to play into our hands a little bit, as Sebastian Vettel has a quick look while the 2 cars in front of him are side by side. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll has got 2 Williams for company, but Lance Stroll doing okay here, but he has got to stay with Sebastian Vettel, and Danny Ricciardo has been overtaken now, and he's now got Sebastian Vettel for company, who's right on the back of Danny Ricciardo, and we're going to ride on board with Sebastian Vettel in lap 2 here, because we reckon he could possibly make a move down this start-finish straight. I think what we'll do is ride on board, and then we'll get that ERS used on the start-finish straight. We are decent in these low-speed corners. And that looks like it's glitched a little bit, because we're definitely not 1.1 seconds behind Danny Ricciardo. Thank you very much. And that might be the chance that we get to overtake Danny Ricciardo. And meanwhile, Charles Leclerc is going to be pressuring the cars in front, which he is doing. He's having a real ding-dong battle. We're going to ride with Charles Leclerc a little bit, because he is making his way through the pack at a great pace here. Sebastian Vettel has got overtake switched on. We're now going to switch back to Danny Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel, because Sebastian Vettel off that final corner has got the ERS usage deployed. He is deploying ERS all the way down at this start-finish straight. Can Sebastian Vettel get Danny Ricciardo? He can't. He's trying his utmost, so he has got the inside line. Sebastian Vettel still with overtake used and gains the position. Sebastian Vettel up to P12. Fantastic work from Sebastian Vettel, and he's also onto the back of Yuki Tsunoda straight away, so that's a great bit of work from Sebastian. Lance Stroll in a bit of a different fight, really. He just needs to be hanging onto the back of Danny Ricciardo if he possibly can. I think we might let Lance Stroll use a bit of ERS as well to try and catch up with Danny Ricciardo. And just hang on to the back, because Lance Stroll has got a surging, roaring Max Verstappen behind him at this moment in time. Something to be aware of for Lance. But at this moment in time, we can't be too disappointed with our start at all. Still staying within 0.8 of a second to Danny Ricciardo. And I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at this start-finish straight, when hopefully Lance is going to at least catch up to the back of Danny Rick. And Sebastian Vettel can look to pull up towards Yuki Tsunoda. Obviously, Lance Stroll on the slower compounded tyre at this moment in time. I'd love to know what Max Verstappen's on. He is on the medium compounded tyre. Let's see what Lance Stroll can do here. He has got Max Verstappen for company. I'm not holding too much hope here. But Max Verstappen cannot overtake the Aston Martin. Let's see how long that lasts for. Right, I think we'll come back. We'll fast forward a few little bits now and come back. But Carlos Sainz is still leading, only by a little bit from Sergio Perez. But then there is a gap to Lewis Hamilton. We come back on lap 5. We are practically 4 wide into turn 1. Lance Stroll is doing his best. He's got cars on faster compounded tyres all around him. But Lance Stroll, he's holding on to the back of these guys. This is not the worst thing in the world because Danny Ricciardo is very much holding up Max Verstappen. Lance Stroll is battling away and they're dragging him along. They're obviously fighting a little bit as well, but if we have a look at the last lap, 124.5 for Lance Stroll, which is not too bad on the hard compounded tyre. Valtteri Bottas absolutely flying here and overtaking Danny Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel still doing fantastically well in P12 and I believe still within the DRS range of Yuki Tsunoda. Lap 7, Lance Stroll with the DRS. Danny Ricciardo falling out of the DRS range of the cars in front, and Lance Stroll on the hard compound tyre overtakes Danny Ricciardo. Nice work, and he's got to try and chase after a Red Bull now. Tough work indeed. Meanwhile, if we have a look at Sebastian Vettel in P12, he has got a fight on his hands with a very quick Valtteri Bottas on the soft compounded tyre. But Sebastian Vettel at this moment in time doing a fantastic job, just keeping the car smooth, keeping the tyres sound, and he's just keeping in range of Yuki Tsunoda, and he's back on normal fuel saving now. So Sebastian Vettel doing fantastically well. It might not be the worst thing in the world if Valtteri Bottas gets past him. Meanwhile, at the front is still Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez. They very much, without sounding like James Corden, are in a league of their own this evening. But lap 7 still looking promising for the Aston Martins.
Now we see the Williams.
We see here Williams running wide. That's not disastrous by any stretch of the imagination. But for the Williams team, but Sebastian Vettel's pace has seemed to have dropped off a cliff. We are very much giving him the hurry up because at the moment we're basically saying to Lance Stroll just hold position, but Sebastian Vettel's making it very hard for me not to swap the cars because he hasn't got the pace at this moment in time, but he is lapping at the same sort of pace as these guys in front. But we need these guys in front to start fighting because at the moment Sebastian Vettel just cannot catch up with these two guys, and Lance Stroll is the quicker car on this hard compounded tyre. Meanwhile, at the front, Carlos Sainz still and Sergio Perez just in a fight between themselves, really. But these guys on soft compounded tyre, are they going to be on a two-stop? The guys on the soft compound, on the quicker cars, we couldn't do anything with Sebastian Vettel to combat them. But hopefully they'll come back to us a little bit later on in the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel, lap 15, finally manages to catch up to Tsunoda and get the overtake done. The soft compounded tyre runners, the tyres dropping off a cliff now. It's letting Sebastian Vettel make up a bit of positions and hopefully start to catch up to this next gaggle of cars. But meanwhile, that's happening. They enjoyed that in the Aston Martin garage. A lot of high fives, lovely stuff. But meanwhile, Lance Stroll at P17 has dropped off a cliff as well on these hard compounded tyre, which is quite concerning. We're going to have to manage Lance effectively to see what we can do and running long into the race. But Sebastian Vettel right up there and closing on Fernando Alonso. It's possible that these soft compounded tyre runners might be on a two-stop. Lap 17, this is really interesting. The hard compounded tyre runners swapping onto another set of parts? Not quite sure what's happening there.
Tsunoda is pitting this.
We've made up quite a few positions there. I mean, they are on hard compounded tyres, but whether that's a glitch, I didn't notice. I thought Fernando were on soft tyres. He's gone onto hards. If we check the strategy view here, let's have a look at the tyre history. So Fernando Alonso, let's have a look. He was on the soft compounded tyre, so they've now gone onto hards. So are they going to go all the way to the end of the Grand Prix? It was just a glitch in the viewing. But that's put us up to P11. We have obviously got a pit stop to make as well. But lap 17, don't give up hope of points just yet. Lap 18, Danny Ricciardo's just made a fantastic overtake down into turn 1. Maybe a driver we could have a look at for next season. Obviously not the most popular in real life, but just had a fantastic weekend at the Singapore Grand Prix. Maybe something we could have a look at. Obviously we're a little bit disappointed with that, it must be said. But still running P12, and now he has got the DRS and he has got more worn tyres than Danny Ricciardo, so this might just drag him along a bit. Meanwhile, we're hoping to play the same game with Lance Stroll. He's got Lewis Hamilton behind him. What we're currently doing is harvesting energy so that when Lewis Hamilton does get past, we can try and stay with him and let him pull us towards the cars further up the field. But tough ass to keep up with that Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc is leading at the moment, but I believe yet to pit. And then George Russell's also yet to pick. Carlos Sainz and Perez really just primed to take over where they left off as soon as the guys at the front pit as well. Lap 23, and we've had a crash, and guess who it is? Nicholas Latifi in the Williams in Sector 1, spins it, and into the wall. Safety car would be absolutely ideal at this moment in time. Our guys just coming around sort of turns 6 and 7, but no safety car. Lance Stroll now chasing down Sebastian Vettel. This is probably where the crossover point comes. Sebastian is very much on warm medium tyres. Lance Stroll's got a bit longer to go on these hard compounded tyre, so that might work quite well for Lance Stroll. Lap 24, still Leclerc leading, but yet to pit. And then it comes Sainz, and Perez is also up there as well. These guys yet to pit as well, so it will be Sainz who takes back lead of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, 2 McLarens in the top 10, Norris and Ricciardo, Hamilton in P10, and we're trying to latch onto the back of. Then comes our 2 guys, and then the guys behind us though have already pit. All the guys behind us, apart from the 2 Williams, have already pit. And Lance Stroll has locked up on his hard compounded tyre. That takes him out of the equation for holding up other cars. What a waste of space.
The team are really disappointed with that.
Oh dear, and that's knackered his tyres up as well. That's totally done us. Sebastian Vettel's got one more lap, and then he's going to be coming in. And then obviously Lance has now got to come in as well. It's just a disaster on lap 28. We'll try and sort this mess out and come back. Right then, both our guys are in on lap 29. Sebastian Vettel is in first. I'm hoping we can get him in out and then get Lance Stroll's front wing changed. Lance Stroll's now going on to a 2-stop, so he's going to have to use 2 separate sets of softs to get to the end of this race. I didn't fancy him on the mediums to the end. I just can't see the point in that. We might as well try something a little bit different and up to a safety car. Sebastian Vettel should have been going on to a set of medium compounded tyre. I'm hoping that that's a glitch. Sorry, Sebastian Vettel should have been going on to hards. He has gone on to hard, so that's fair enough. It is Lance Stroll who comes out on the soft compounded tyre. So Sebastian Vettel now going to the end on this hard compounded tyre. Lance Stroll might as well just give it L. Lap 36. And Sebastian Vettel is round Danny Ricciardo. Lovely move on the start finish straight. DRS enabled. Gets round Danny Ricciardo. Job done for Sebastian Vettel. We're relying on safety cars and things to happen in this race. But as it stands, Sebastian Vettel's just been overtaken back by Ricciardo. It was only a quick change of places. Lap 47, Lance Stroll comes in for his stop. He's now back onto a set of medium compounded tyre. Still filtered out comfortably in front of the Williams. Yuki Tsunoda had a spin, which brought him back down to P17. Sebastian Vettel is managing the tyres effectively, but has dropped out of the range of Danny Ricciardo. We just haven't got the pace to keep up with these guys. It's safety car enough in here. We've got some big improvements, both in terms of drivers and cars, to get this car anywhere near being competitive. Lap 52, and just to update you on the front of the race, Charles Leclerc is currently leading. He has made just a single pit stop at this moment in time. He's on hard tyres to get him through to the end of the race. Then comes Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez and Verstappen. George Russell still on the hard compound, Magnussen, Hamilton, Bottas, Norris and Mick Schumacher. Double points for Haas at this moment in time. Not good news for us in the constructors. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel is on the bike. Well, he's being lapped by the 2 Red Bulls. Not looking like he's going to catch up with Danny Ricciardo, although doing his absolute utmost. P16 and 17 looks the more likely finishes at this point in time, unless something very dramatic happens in the latter stages of this Grand Prix. And Sebastian Vettel has just picked up a nice bit of DRS as well from being lapped. Final lap, and we've had a multiple car crash. Let's have a look what's happened here. An Alpine and an Alpha Tauri. Let's have a look. I'm guessing he's going to go straight into the back. He's locked up and took him out. Big crash. Unfortunately, he's on lap 70. That's not going to provide us with any sort of opportunity to do anything. Sebastian Vettel is just fighting Yuki Tsunoda at this moment in time for P16. Gasly's out, so it's going to be P15. Let's all have a big celebration. Lance Stroll got overtaken by Yuki Tsunoda, which is not great at all. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel, looks like we've got a penalty as well for another car. But Sebastian Vettel,
so this is
last lap of the Grand Prix, can he hold off Yuki Tsunoda? This is the big question. what have we got in terms of ERS? Sorry, we'll bang this on deploy. We'll get this on attack. Let's just give it absolutely everything we can towards the end of the Grand Prix to hold up this Alpha Tauri and try and finish in front of Yuki Tsunoda. Just for a bit of pride, maybe, just for a little bit of excitement. Lance Stroll has not had the most exciting of days. He's down in P17, not been great for Lance Stroll. That lockup really did kill his race. But it's all eyes on Sebastian Vettel. We'll bang you up to 2 times speed as we watch him come round the final few turns here. This last sector, we'll have a look from the rear wing. It doesn't look like Yuki Tsunoda is going to manage to overtake Sebastian Vettel. We do look like we're actually going to finish in front of an Alpha Tauri today. We'll slow it back down to the normal speed. Sebastian Vettel come round the final corner. His battery's empty. His morale's probably the same. Mine's not too far behind it, but we've done okay to finish P15. Is that the best we can do at this moment in time? Absolutely.
Tough day. Take all the pickup you can.
Yeah, it's just been a tough day on a sequence of tough days. We started with a tough team here. And there we go then, the classification. We did start with a tough team, and it's been very difficult so far this season. Carlos Sainz wins from Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez will be disappointed because he were running very much at the front for most of the start of the Grand Prix, especially. Max Verstappen comes in P4, then Bottas, Russell, Hamilton, the 2 Mercedes in 6th and 7th, Magnussen and Mick Schumacher 8th and 9th. That's going to be good points in the constructors for them. Lando Norris in P10. If we have a look at the constructors, that gets us back down to 9th. Well, we're still in 9th, but now Haas overtake McLaren. 5 points of difference. We just need some luck out of somewhere, but we will get it. Stick with us. I still believe it might be next season, though. Just bear that in mind. But thank you so much for watching. Absolute pleasure. We'll see you next Tuesday for the next episode of this Aston Martin Save. Have a good weekend.